Cause we is back once again with another reaction video, bruh. And right now I'm about to react to the third story of the day and of this video, bro. Of the three most disturbing field trips horror stories, bro. Let's get it. To all my returning subscribers and all my returning people that's been here, thanks for being here, man. I really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate you guys. To all the people that are new, go down, like, subscribe. And if you don't subscribe to the channel, at least hit the like button, man. Dang. Let's get into this, man.
Mr. Stevenson somehow convinced the school to let him take us on a field trip to some abandoned building in the woods that was the site of a major...
Wait a minute. Alright, where we at? Story number 3.
I think drive down just because of the grass growing in the street. Since our current topic at the time of our class was Stevenson somehow convinced the school to let him take us on a field trip to... The guide looked surprised at my question and answered, "Yeah, during the time of their residence, they had a black female servant living with them."
Alright, story 3. Let's get it. I would not be reacting to this at nighttime. Because you could tell.
Senior year of high school. My forensics teacher, Mr. Stevenson, somehow convinced the school to let him take us on a field trip to some abandoned building in the woods that was the site of a major crime scene. I think he might have finessed it a bit and made the school think we'd just be studying the perimeter and outside of the building, but we did much more than that. Mainly, it used to be a drug den. When we got there, I realized how frighteningly tall the building actually was, and its location was just surreal. Surrounded by forest in every direction, and the only road that leads up to it is a road you would never think to drive down just because of the grass growing in the street. Since our current topic at the time of our class was dealing with drugs, Mr. Stevenson led us into the abandoned building. He gave a tour of the place as if he'd been there many times before, and he seemed to know quite a bit of history about the building. For example, that the actual original purpose of the building was unknown. Apparently, construction on the higher levels wasn't even finished before the building was abandoned.
Dang.
Its location and size made it ideal for drug deals and other illegal activity to take place, which surprised all of us since there we were, inside of this apparent former drug den for a school field trip. Mr. Stevenson was so laxed about this trip that he didn't even notice when a couple students wandered off to explore on their own.
He didn't even
or maybe
care.
He just didn't care.
Like, oh, just another field trip. Come on, kids.
Given that a few other students did it, me and my friend Gianna, or G, decided to go off on our own too. And yes, I'm a guy. I just so happened to have a really close friend that was a girl back in high school. There had to be at least 8 floors in this building, but we saw from the outside the top few floors looked unfinished. I basically forced G to come all the way upstairs with me to the top few floors. Worst came to worst, we wouldn't be able to find the group again, and we just returned to the bus right outside. We climbed the stairs, one flight after another. It was weird. As we reached the middle floors, the amount of debris and graffiti lessened a bit, but then as we got to the higher floors, there was even more graffiti and litter than the lower floors. Then things got sketchy. It seemed we were on the second highest floor, and everything on this floor was still just wood foundation. A lot of it seemed to be rotting, and there were a lot of holes up there. We would have gone up to the last floor, but the stairs had been completely stripped and broken. Basically, there were no stairs to the last floor. There had to be a way up there, though. So we watched our step for weak wood as we navigated the floor. Then, Gianna grabbed my shoulder and stopped me. She pointed up at a hole in the ceiling and said she saw something. Then there was a ticking noise, like the kind of ticking noise a person makes when they're calling their cat or something. Followed by that, someone's arm came into view from the hole above us. Just their arm, though, and judging by the position of the arm, whoever's arm it was must have been laying down flat on the floor beside the hole. They had a long black sleeve on, so the only skin that was visible was their hand. G was scared. I laughed a little at first, but I'm not going to say it wasn't slightly unnerving. Gianna started telling me let's go back down. I started calling up to the person, how do we get up there? They didn't answer. Instead, they just kept making the ticking noise and waving us up. That's when things started getting really creepy, and I agreed with G that we should go back down. Right after I said this, the person pulled their arm out from the hole, and we heard the sound of a shoe quickly scrape the wood foundation above us, as the person was clearly getting up. We couldn't see though. I nudged Gianna to move. I was creeped out and just wanted to get back down. As we were about to leave the main open layout room and back into the stairway corridor, there was a crash far behind us. We turned and saw a man on the complete opposite side of the room, facing the wall. It seemed he just jumped through one of the holes. He then quickly turned his head to look at us, without moving his body. There was something about his face and clothing. He didn't look like the typical urban exploration type. He looked dangerous and unstable. G and I ran for it now, down one flight of stairs at a time. 3 flights down, I looked up the long corridor above us and saw the man at top looking down at me. I yelled go to Gianna. We kept going down. Like 5 flights later, I looked up again, and there was the man again, looking down at me. This time he seemed much closer, and I just realized he'd been chasing us. We got to the bottom, and I looked up one more time, and I didn't see him this time. We heard the voice of Mr. Stevenson nearby, and I kind of started to laugh about what just happened. Not exactly because I found it funny, but because I was just happy that we made it back safely. G was not laughing though. She was genuinely disturbed. We found Mr. Stevenson, who asked where we were, and we told the truth about what just happened. He was pretty mad at us, but given what we just told him, he also advised we should leave the building. The other kids who wandered off had returned, and when we got to the bus, Mr. Stevenson did a head count like 3 times. Overall, the trip wasn't a failure for the rest. The other kids did learn things about the building and drugs, but for my friend Gianna and I, really, it was the most horrific thing we ever went through.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that scary. Okay. Got into a building. They went upstairs. They found some arm and some guy. They got chased back down. That wasn't that scary, guys. This is the real reaction, bro. I ain't gonna fake no horror reaction. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I thought of the video. I don't know. Really wasn't the best, I guess, for the third one. But the first one was definitely my favorite one. When it was at the aquarium and they got, you know what I'm saying? There's some random guy. I came across this random guy. You know, thought it was somebody who worked at the aquarium, followed him, and he got taken away from him and kidnapped by him. That was my favorite one. The second one, it wasn't that great. The third one was better than the second one. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. If you guys are sick of me reacting to these scary stuff, dude, I'm gonna probably react to something else now, man. I know you guys are sick of me. I kind of want to watch. I want to react to something else now too, so I'm gonna probably find something else. But you guys can let me know what to react to next. If not, I'm gonna find something on my own. Like and subscribe if you're new. Go down, like and subscribe, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel for more daily reactions. And if you don't subscribe to the channel, at least hit that like button, man. Let's get it. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one, man.